tomorrow. So if you guys come on Wednesday nights, have another one of those with him, that'll be good. Christmas party is going to be next Sunday, so please make sure and sign up on the app if you haven't already. So we'll make sure we got enough food for everybody who's going to come. I don't know what the game. Oh, I know. What did he say? We're going to do. What do they call the things? Escape rooms. We're going to do escape rooms. I know that. So that should be fun. 11th and 12th grade campfire night tonight at Pastor Brandon's house from 6 to 8. So 11th and 12th grade guys, campfire night at Pastor Brandon's house. Also got the guys camp out is going to be January 1st and 2nd. So for those of you that are going to be in town on New Year's Day, come on by for the guys camp out. You can also, all of this stuff that I'm talking about is on the app. So make sure you're looking at that to get that stuff going. And then also the 9th and 10th grade guys. So my guys and Brian Botch's guys, we're going to do lunch after church 2 Sundays from now. Sunday, December 13th, we're going to go to Mod Pizza after church. So y'all can just meet us in the back and we'll ride over there. Botcha's got the big Botcha mobile with the eyelashes and all that. So we can get in there and head that way. Any announcements that anybody knows about, any small group leaders that I missed? Are we ready now? Okay, good deal. As if I don't talk loud enough. Anything else? All right. So today, the old school vets in the front row know this game. But this is going to be one of those minute to win it's. If my lovely bride, would you come to the front right here? You're going to be our timekeeper. All right, so it looks like the way you guys spread out this morning, we can pretty much do this row versus row. And I got a bunch of time. So we're going to start that way. So I guess my front row people, y'all come up. He's a real old school vet. All right. Hang on. Y'all give me a second. What's that? Okay. So the way this game works, every chopstick has a black mark on it. Okay? So we're going to load 6 of these nuts on your chopstick. So start. Now, what you do with them, once you take them off, you can dump them on the table if you want. You can leave them on the stick if you want, whatever. Is that everybody? One more. I need one more. All right. Is that everybody? Where's mine? Wait, so I just put them on there? Yep. Okay, so the way this works, your hand can't go past the black mark. Pick which hand you want to use. The other one goes behind your back, all right? You're going to have to try to set this on the table, all right? I like to dump them, but set it on the table, and you're trying to stack them all on top of each other if you can. And you got a minute to do it, okay? So you're trying to stack them like this, as many as you can. If nobody gets to 6 stacked, okay, then whoever has the most at the expiration of the minute, okay? So y'all are sharing tables, nobody bump the table, or you screw the whole table, okay? All right, so let's stick that back on there. And when Christina says go, we're timing you for a minute. Does everybody understand? Yeah. All right. And there's going to be a representative from the row that we're electing this time. And then each row, we're going to go down the line. You're going to have to merge with somebody else. No easy free pass. And we'll do it like that, okay? All right, babe, you ready? Ready. Gladiators ready? Ready. Set, go. Man. This is always the tough one. We have a winner. Sorry, Miranda just beat you. All right, how much time was that? All right, so 48 seconds, Miranda. Remember your time, Miranda, in case somebody, thank you, a little bit, something. All right, the rest of you losers can sit down. All right, so let's do row 3. I think that's 6 of y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You two hang on. You're going to merge with him, and we'll figure it out, okay? So give me these two, these two, these two. Let's go. No, you row. You're the rep for that row. You'll be back in the Tournament of Champions. Actually, Miranda, come here. Do I have this many? Let me see how many dollars I have. Singles? Okay, Miranda, come get this. Hang on to that. Okay. All right. You're going to wish you were in the last row. No. Okay. All right. Everybody got the game. You know what we're doing, right? Oh, my goodness. No, just throw it down there. It's going to fall again. Yeah. There we go. All right. Somebody right here. Okay. What's that? Okay. All right. Everybody, you see the black mark on your chopstick? Hand stays behind that. Other hand stays free once you get your nuts on the chopstick. You can put them on there with the other hand. There you go. Are we supposed to stack them a certain way or just stack them? They got to be on their sides. So just, so where they stack tall. You can't just, It'd be a pretty easy game if we did that. All right, everybody ready? All right, babe, you start them off. Whoa! We have a winner. How much time? 22 seconds left. So we got a 38 seconds right here. Woo! Come on, give it up. 38. That's the... All right. Nice try. All right. Come to me. Remind me your name.
Alexis.
Alexis. All right, some of you guys going to have to do something. Here we go. All right, take that back to your seat. All right, let's see. All right, so give me, let me see, 1, 2, 3. What's that? All right, so give me, you come on up. Ladies, come on up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll tell you what, Kenna, come on up. Yeah. Right? Who's that behind you, Leslie? I can't see. I'll tell you what, McKinley, come on up too. What's that? You weren't paying attention. All right, McKinley over here. Okay, right here. All right, so go ahead and put these nuts on the chopstick and keep your hand behind that black mark. All right, you saw what we were doing, right? All right.
You have to stack them up.
You're going to end up stacking them on their sides. That's right. All right. So, only thing, like I said, one hand stays behind your back or in your pocket or whatever. The other one's free, always stays behind the black mark, okay? All right. We're trying to stack them on their sides on top of each other, all 6. First one to get all 6 stacked wins. If nobody gets it, then whoever's the highest after a minute. Okay? Christina, you're going to start them off. Dude. Done. Goodness gracious. How much? Left or gone? Whew, 19 seconds up top. All right, McKinley. Steady hand. Man, y'all go ahead. She destroyed. Hang on, McKinley. All right. Okay. She left-handed? She left-handed? McKinley, are you left-handed? Left or right? Okay. All right, let's see. Who's left that wants to play? Evie. All right. Who's left that wants to play? Anybody? I know Sammy, come get some of this. Come get some. Nathan, come up. Let's see. Who else? These 3. Come on. I got to get 5. All right, that's our last 6. All right, just put them on the stick. Is that what that's for? What's that? Is that what that's for? Like a step? To make it stay, yeah. For those of us short-legged people, you don't understand that. All right, put these on your chopstick. Hand stays behind the black mark. Why didn't you want to play? Don't like to play games. Any games? Not even Monopoly? No. Mario Brothers? No. Pick up sticks? Tic-tac-toe? No? Brandon, we got to find a game for this one. What's your name? Do you like to talk on the mic? No. Doesn't like to talk on the mic, doesn't like to play games. Not a team player, apparently. Team sports, that's it. Oh, so you like those games? Yeah. So sports aren't considered games. Basketball?
I play basketball.
Yeah? Can she hoop? A little bit? Break some ankles? Oh, yeah. All right. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Have we had any male winners yet? Cobley. Sammy. What was your name? Andrew. Come on. For the gender. Let's do this. All right, babe.
Ready, set, go.
What's that? On their sides. Tall. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't worry, I'll knock Serlings down in a second. Andrew for the boys. All right. Good job. Good job. That's it. All right. Yep. I know what I do after work. Okay. Hey, hang on. Stay with me. All right. All winners. Everybody with $1 in your hand. Bring it up. This is your ticket to success, all right? Stack them on the table. We are.
Oh, sorry.
She likes to look at her money.
Can we come over here?
Yeah, it's cool.
I'll take my lucky stick.
You sure? All right. Who's picking Andrew? Man. I got you. Me. Who's got McKinley? Who's got Miranda? I'm sorry, you got to remind me again.
Alexis.
And who's got Alexis? Let's do this, Andrew. Well, where's the other $2? You could not have spent them that fast.
Oh, wait.
Oh, she already gave her
bring me
dollar.
my dollar?
She already gave her dollar away.
What did she do for $1?
No, it's
She just came up here and lost. All right. Everybody ready? All right, babe.
ready, set, go.
Whoa! McKinley Bales, the future heart surgeon, gets all of this money.
Hold on, you can't take mine.
Everybody give it up for McKinley. Congratulations. Don't spend it all in one place. Okay. Let's do this. Who is the youngest person in the room? Come on now. Let's see. How young do we go? Let's say, is anybody 12 years old? 12? 12? All right. Anybody else? Under 12? All right. Come on up here. All right. And I'm thinking Mike. I wasn't going to say it. I was just going to say, I'm going to make her go against Mike. Okay. Give me a second here. All right, we're going to do something else. Okay. Try to remember how this works. Shuffle these right quick. What's that? Ugh, there's too many of these in here. Doesn't matter. No, I'm talking about this. Okay. Forgetting how to do this game. All right. You know what? We're going to do this a different way.
It's your game.
We're going to do this a different way. You versus you. 5 on the line. Same game I just did. Whoever has the most.
Okay, question.
Yes.
Have to be on the side or
No, has to be on the side. What's that? I don't remember. I don't remember. Yes, sir. That wasn't what I was thinking about. They got to start on the stick.
They all have to turn on stick.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Hands behind the black line.
you can take my spot.
So the point is to.
All right. Here we go.
Brandon's gonna go. He's gonna go. Let's go. Ready?
she's gonna call it.
So what we do? Line them up?
Stacking them on the side. Man, it's over.
They practice at home. It must be a
Huh?
game.
Okay. Where's is McKinley still in here?
What was that time? 42 seconds?
Please. I'll bump him if I have to. I don't even know if we need the time.
Yeah, she absolutely killed me there. She was just waiting for that moment. Save that. All right, guys. It is, thanks you, Kirk. Kirk's going to come back up in a little bit. I got to run downstairs for response time in our service, so we're going to transition over to our missionary lesson today. So, video is ready, bro. Is that from last week or this week? No. All right. So question for you. How many of you ever watched Narnia? Talking about Narnia, the not the Prince of the Caspian one, but the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe one. How many of you have seen that one? Any famous lines stand out in that Narnia one? No. The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe series or movie. The Narnia is the series, but Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. Any famous ones? And who's your favorite character in the Narnia Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe? Anybody? Aslan. Wow, you all, okay, you at least, I mean, I don't feel so bad. You raised your hand saying you knew about it, but obviously you didn't pay much attention to it. Peter, Edmund, okay. He was Susie, Lucy. What'd you say, Susan, yes, Susan, Lucy, Edmund, Peter. Okay, we got all of them. Nathan, you remember anybody from Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe? He's like, no, I play basketball. All right. Mr. Thomas. My favorite character is the Badger. How many of you remember the Badger in it? All right. Anybody remember a famous line that he said whenever he was asked about Aslan? No. So one of the children were asking about Aslan, like, and they were trying to figure out because they had been taken to another world by walking through the wardrobe, and they were walking in this winter wonderland. Which, by the way, you need to give credit to Ingrid Milia and Claudia Pinto and the others who helped them. They helped create a little winter wonderland. This is all in hopes for next Sunday when we do our Christmas party in our winter wonderland theme. We will have an igloo, by the way, just saying. So you guys will have to come and see what that's about. But the kids walk through the wardrobe. They go into a unknown place, and they're scared. And they're looking for a place of safety. So one of the kids asks about Aslan to the Badger, is Aslan safe? Because, again, they're looking for a safe place to be able to find in midst of this chaotic place, in midst of the witch or the ice queen, whatever she was. But what did Badger say? Anybody remember what he said back? He questions, he goes, Aslan safe? Like, are you kidding me? And he says, no, Aslan is not safe. Now, you would think upon hearing that they would be, well, this isn't a place I want to be. Why would I want to be with somebody who is not safe? But what the Badger says next is so fitting, what should be for us in our lives. And it's also very fitting for the guy that we're going to learn about today. Remember last week we talked about Nate Saint and Steve Elliott and the 5 missionaries that went down to Ecuador and gave their lives. We're going to learn about a guy by the last name of Judson today. And this quote fits his life. When he came to faith, he wasn't looking for somewhere safe to go or someone safe to follow. He was looking for, as the Badger said, someone good to follow. Now, here's what I want to ask you. As you hear about the story of Adoniram Judson, I always butcher his first name. As you listen about Judson's life, you will realize he didn't follow Jesus because he was safe. He followed Jesus because he was good. So I ask this question for you in your own walk, if you have a walk in faith in Jesus Christ. Did you come to God because he's a safe place? Or did you come to God because he's the good God? Why did you come to him? And when you're sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ with somebody else, either in school, if you remember a lot over the beginning part of school, we did our Rush Month where you guys took over 650 different gospel opportunities, either directly sharing the gospel or using the masks or tracts or social media accounts to share the gospel of Jesus Christ over 650 times, which I'm proud of you for doing. But in any of those times or any of the past times that you shared the gospel, did you invite someone to a faith in Jesus Christ because he's safe? Or did you invite invite that person to a relationship with Jesus Christ because he's good? Why did you invite them? Why did you come to faith? And why did you invite them? Okay, here we go. Adoniram Judson. I'm butchering it. How you spell it? It's pretty cool. His first name is Adoniram, Adonirim. Anybody know what the name Adonai means? Dang it. Okay, I didn't look it up. So it is a Hebrew name for our Lord, our God, and it is used over and over and over again in the Old Testament, particularly through the book of Psalms, the Hebrew name Adonai. But anyway, his name is Adoniram Judson. Here we go. Ready? Take some notes on this, because I want you to follow along his story and his journey. But as you follow along in his story and journey, I want you to reflect in your own walk, in your own faith. Did you come to God because he is safe, or did you come to God because he is good? And I'm going to question us at the end of it, because maybe one of you are being called to be like Adoniram Judson. And hopefully we'll be able to have a video. We've had some technical difficulties this morning, as you can't tell. Our lights burned out, which stinks because we had lights on the trees. We lost lights on the ceiling. We've had a rough morning. It looks like some of you just sitting there have had a rough morning too. Trying to not fall asleep. Here we go. Adoniram Judson. Here's how his life went down. Adoniram Judson didn't come to faith until later in life. In fact, as you read through his journals and his biography, or autobiography, he didn't come to faith for many reasons. One of those reasons was he didn't think it was intellectually strong enough to come to faith in Jesus Christ. He grew up in what's called a congregational home, which was a very conservative home. Now, he was born in 1788, so I think I need to put the context around you. He was born in 1788. Did we get those slides, Justice? Slides for the screen behind me? They're okay. All right. Bummer. I'll get you. We'll put it up. All right. Here we go. He came to faith late in life. He was born in 1788, which is the late 1800s, okay? The late 1800s. He came to faith late in life, though. He was an intellectual, which means he was challenging his father. He was challenging why he should come to faith. Now, his father grew up as like a pastor, went to seminary in that day and age, but Judson just wanted nothing to do with that. He thought that it was intellectually weak to be a Christ follower, and he was looking for something intellectually strong. And you can hear his conversation with others about how he challenged his own father in the faith, how he challenged people around him of that time in the faith. And it wasn't until about 1810 when he actually came to faith. He went to college. He decided to go to seminary, which is interesting because in that day and age, seminary was basically not like that. Okay. Seminary was basically like a graduate school. It was an undergraduate school, like a college and university. And people went there to further their education. But this thing about seminary in that day and age was you normally weren't accepted into seminary as an unbeliever. You had to give a testimony about Christ having saved you to be part of a seminary in that day and age. But nonetheless, the seminary allowed Judson to come in and become a seminary student. And within 3 months, Judson came to faith in Jesus Christ. And everything for his life changed. In fact, anybody ever study the history War of 1812? That sound familiar at all to anyone? Raise your hand. Show me I'm not just a history nerd up here, please. Everybody's heard about War of at least all the high school kids have heard about the War of 1812. That was a tormentoous time for America. It was uncertain a time in America. Like, the economy was suffering. The country was on brink as far as possibly trying to just make itself a national player on the national scale. But War of 1812 was happening, and during 1812, incredible things were happening in Judson's life. He came to faith. He got married. And he surrendered his life to missions, all within 1 year. All with 1 year. Came to faith, got married, and he surrendered to missions, all in 1 year. That was a very difficult time for the country. And yet, God was working in midst of the country's sufferings, in midst of the country's war, in midst of this national stability or instability. God was working in one life. Now, the reason why I mentioned this and kind of highlighted it is because of this. What's going on right now? National turmoil, right? What's going on right now? International turmoil, COVID, crisis, uncertainty. All of these things are going on right now. You hear what I'm saying? But what was God doing during the War of 1812 in Judson's life? He was moving. What was God doing in the life of Judson? It was preparing Judson to do something incredible. And if you don't know anything about Judson, you're about to hear why his life is so important to us as Christ followers and why his life is so important for us as Southern Baptists. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world. God still moves. It doesn't matter what could be bad or happening. It doesn't matter what's going on bad in your own life. It doesn't matter your own personal bad decisions, because up to this point in Judson's life, he wasn't just a saint. He had highs and lows, suffered from depression. He was suffering from anxiety. He was suffering from a lot of things. Hey, there we go. So here's a picture. Go to the next slide. A picture of Adonai. That's not it. Never mind. Bummer. There it is. All right. There he is. Adoniram Judson right there. Adoniram Judson right there. That's him. So he looks like me, doesn't he? He's good looking. He's good looking. Stylish for that day and age. Sophisticated, right? That's the way we roll. So anyway, this is Adoniram Judson, and you can see now, here's what ends up happening. So he ends up coming to faith. He ends up getting married. He ends up surrendering his life to missions, and he was, at the time, a Congregationalist. Now, a Congregationalist would be equivalent to what would be called a Presbyterian today. Strong in doctrine, strong in theology, but there's one thing that they do that is of question, at least from my perspective, and I'll look at from the Bible perspective, and that is they would baptize infants. They would do what's called pedobaptism, and they did not take baptism as serious. But here's what happened. As Adoniram Judson surrendered his life to the call, he ended up going to the overseas. He ended up going to this place called, you ready? Myanmar. Do we have it? That was kind of anticlimactic. There we go. So he went up playing to this Asian place. And so remember, this is the 1800s, 1812, 1813. He surrenders his life to the ministry. He goes to overseas. He travels by boat to just to the west of India to a place called Myanmar. Now, here's the thing with it. Go to the next slide. You can see exactly where the country is. Again, it's to the west of India, to the south of China, to the east of Thailand. And there it is right there. Now, in that day and age, it wasn't known as Myanmar as it is today. It was known as Burma. And the Burmese people, Burmese being the primary language that was spoken in that particular area. Now, here's what it looks like. So I don't want you to think that it's some third world country. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Here's some pictures of what Myanmar looks like today. There we go. That's a beautiful place, isn't it? Now, that's modern day. Many of these temples were built hundreds and hundreds of years ago, though. Some of these temples, Hindu and Buddhist temples, were built 500, 600, 700, 800 years ago. Here's some other pictures, about 3 in all, so let's just slowly cycle through them so you can see an idea of the country he was traveling to. You know, sometimes when we think of missionaries traveling to foreign countries, we tend to think of just desert land and just nothing really there, but today it's a very modern city, as you can see there. I don't remember what city that is, but you can see it's through one of the major ports, one of the older cities there in that region, possibly where Judson came when he first got to Myanmar. There's another temple. It's a grainy picture, but you can see the modern apartment buildings. Again, temples. What is the one thing you notice in every single picture, though? A temple. All right, last one. I think this is the last one. Just show you what it looks like modern day. Nope, go back. That was the last one. Go back. All right, leave it there. We'll leave it on that one. So this is where Judson was going. Now, here's the thing with Judson. When he finally arrived into Myanmar, There was something about his life. He recognized there was something missing in his life. He knew that he already came to faith. He knew that he had his first wife. By the way, did you know he would end up marrying 3 women? Not at the same time. But he ended up marrying 3 women. I'm going to get back to that in a second because all 3 of them had to be strong like Judson because of the things they would go through. So what ends up happening is as soon as he gets to Myanmar, he ends up realizing something. He was never properly baptized. Now, we truly believe that baptism isn't what saves you, but it is the evidence of your faith in Jesus Christ. Now, I personally know what it's like to not properly be baptized because I made a profession of faith in Jesus Christ between my 5th and 6th grade year of school. It was a soccer summer camp. But I wasn't actually baptized until between my junior and senior year, my sophomore and junior year of high school. I was reluctant. I was afraid to be baptized in front of people. I was afraid of being in front of a bunch of people. Now, ironically, what do I do for the rest of my life? I stand in front of a lot of people, right? And I truly believe it was simply because I was obedient to Jesus Christ through the act of baptism that he radically moved in my life. It was that same year, baptized, then I made a call to faith, a surrender to the call to ministry to be a student pastor. And then a few months later, I met Heather. Does that sound familiar like anybody's story we're hearing about? Come to faith, meet your wife, in my case it was future wife, and also surrender to missions and missionary field all in the same year. All upon just doing that with Jesus Christ. In this case, he was baptized after he came to faith, after he surrendered to missions, and after he was married, he came and he was baptized. Now, the cool thing about it was that the place he was baptized wasn't America. It was as soon as he got off the boat in Myanmar, he got baptized there in the Indian Ocean, which is the same place he would die. Think about that for a second. The same place that he would be baptized is the same place he would die. As it would go in his life, he was leaving on a journey to go try to find some things in India. And after leaving, his ship wrecked somewhere just shortly off the coast, and he drowned and he died. The very same beachhead where he was baptized, he died. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Anyway, moving on. All right, so moving on. During his time there, and this is the reason why Adoniram Judson is such an important figure to both the Baptist and particularly the IMB, but also our Christian life. He was the first known modern Christian to translate the entire Bible into another language. Adoniram spent his entire life studying the Burmese language, and he translated the entire Bible into the Burmese language. He was the first one of modern Christianity to do something like that. Now, at that time, there were places who had parts of the Bible in their language, but never the entire Bible, apart from the English language. Now, he translated into a very difficult language, the Burmese, which there were multiple different dialects even spoken at the time, but he translated it over the course of his 30 years there in Myanmar. That's huge. Not only that, he actually wrote in Burmese to help disciple those who would come to faith there in Myanmar. He wrote many theological books in Burmese. He actually wrote articles. And then this is where his life gets absolutely crazy. Like those things there alone are very beneficial to advance the gospel. The simple act of translating the entire Bible into one language over the course of his lifetime is an incredible act. However, here's what his life was like in between. I mentioned a moment ago he married 3 times because 2 of his wives died. He lost 3 children during his time there in Burma. And during his time, he actually spent either or two, some reports would say a quarter to up to a half of his lifetime in prison. During that time that he lived there was a major war going on between England and Burma. The Burmese people wanted their independence from the British rule, and so a war broke out. And as a result, the Burmese leader at the time, he imprisoned all American or English-speaking people because he thought they were all British spies. And they were treated extremely poorly. But check this out. Nancy, or Anne Hattlefield, I believe is her name. Anne is her first name for sure, I know that. Her last name was... I didn't write it down. My bad. No, there it is. Hasseltine. I was pretty close, right? Hattlefield, Hasseltine. I'm pretty close to it. But anyway, when her husband was in prison, he was neglected of food, water, sleep, and very other necessities. She pleaded with the Burmese government on behalf because of all the work he had done for the Burmese people prior to his imprisonment, prior to the war. She pleaded him. Now, he wasn't released until after the war, but during the time he was in prison, she would plead on his behalf because of the works that he did, the good works that he did for the people, and the good works she did for the Burmese people to help take care of widows and others that were in the country at the time. And so here's what happened. She found a way. This is incredible. This is where you have to realize that even though we talk about a man who follows after Christ, who leads his family onto the mission field like Nate Saint, Steve Elliott, the other missionaries last week, even in this case, and Adoniram Judson, we also have to remember this. There's an incredible woman behind him that's helping. She recognized the opportunity. She recognized that there were lots of other Burmese people who were thrown in prison because they were seen as traitors. And while they were in prison, it gave Adoniram an opportunity to meet with those prisoners, to share the gospel of Jesus Christ with them in midst of their suffering. And she took it to the point that she even pleaded with the Burmese leader at the time to be able to give him blankets and give the Burmese people blankets and pillows just so that they could sleep more comfortably. Guess what she did with the blankets and the pillows? Before she gave them to the prisoners and before she gave them to Adoniram, she sewn into them the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, the British people couldn't read it. The Burmese people could, but they didn't think anything of it because she never put references. She just put the scriptures themselves. And so they thought she was just trying to be encouraging to them. And what was incredible was they saw a breakout and a revival. Nearly every Burmese person in prison at that time came to faith. And not only that, even the British people who were imprisoned came to faith. All in all, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Burmese people came to faith in Jesus Christ during Judson's time. And it wasn't just because of the work that he did through the translation of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the entire Bible into Burmese. It was because in midst of his suffering, he never once wavered. He never once quit on it. Yet you and I, when we lose a friend, what do? We quit. When we lose the least bit of luxury or comfort or preference, we quit. We start griping and complaining. Adoniram Judson, he suffered. Some cases, a quarter to half of his life in ministry was in prison. We read about this story in the book of Acts, and I want you to see this. We read about these things in the book of Acts, about Stephen being martyred for the faith. We read about Paul being imprisoned, and Peter and the disciples, apostles being imprisoned. We read about that in the Bible times, and we think sometimes in our mind that doesn't happen to today's day and age, and it does. It has been happening for 2,000 years, ever since Jesus Christ said, asked, called people to come unto him. So I ask you this, son. Adoniram Judson, he did not come to missions. He did not come to faith in Jesus Christ because Christ was safe. He came to him because he was good. Adoniram Judson saw the good calling in Jesus Christ, and he saw the good calling to follow Jesus Christ. And he went and he called others, not because it would be safe for them. In the time of Burma, it was not safe. He gave up luxuries of America, even of that time, to go and share the Burmese people the gospel of Jesus Christ. He translated the Bible. He suffered immensely for it. And there was not a single year, if you read through it, not a single year that he, his wives, or his children did not die or have illness or be in imprisonment during his time there. Not a single year of his entire ministry life was without illness, suffering, or death. Yet he thought it was still good. Good to go, good to follow, and good to call others to Jesus Christ. So what are you going to do? If you came to faith in Jesus Christ because he's safe, okay. But leave from the infant's look at Christ to the grown adult look of Christ, and that is he's a place of goodness. He is a good king, and follow him wherever he goes. I want to leave you with this quote about Adoniram Judson. You saw it a moment ago. It was up on the screen, but I want to go back up because I want you to see this, and hopefully we have the video to finish it off. Here's the quote. If you succeed without sacrifice, it is because someone has suffered before you. Adoniram realized this. He did not necessarily succeed because of his own works. He realized there were people who went before him who sacrificed, and specifically Jesus Christ. But not only that, look at the last part of that quote. If you sacrifice without success, it is because someone will succeed after. He recognized that no matter what, sacrifice has to be made. Either the sacrifice of someone before me so that I can be successful, or I must sacrifice now so that someone after me will be successful. And here's the incredible thing. Do we have that? Can they play the video? Sweetness. Here's a video just to give you a look that even though we talked about what happened almost 200 years ago, it didn't die there. When Judson died in the sea in the Indian Ocean, he did not die, nor did the mission or the calling or the advancement of the kingdom of God die there. As it started in the book of Acts, it continued through the American church, and it has continued in there. Here's this video, and then after this, I'm going to have Kirk come up and close you in prayer, and if time, do a video, the last game with you.
And his wife Anne have just arrived into the port of Burma's capital, Yangon, now known as Myanmar. If you're familiar with Judson's story, you know that he would later be regarded as one of the founders of modern Baptist missions. Gifted in languages, he translated the entire Bible, and then for 38 years, through imprisonment, torture, illness, deep depression, isolation from family and friends, and the loss of 2 wives and numerous children, he suffered to bring the gospel to the unreached peoples of Myanmar. And then on Friday afternoon, April 12th, 1850, Adoniram Judson died at sea, away from all his family and Burmese church. When he died, people wondered, who would follow?
So I was moved to the small tent outside the hospital. And in my sleep, I have a dream. Oh, it is a terrible dream. So in my dream, I was fall in a well, and he pulled me out from the well. At the time I woke up, my fever dropped. So I become better and better. So I know that, God gave me life to do something for him. People don't know Jesus. So I have to try. Evangelism is not an easy job. We was detained in 2006 because we evangelized in that area. We are arrested, let's say, 1.5 months in the jail. Yeah, very hard labor. But anyway, when we were in the jail, we can evangelize to the prisoners like that. 2, 1 lady and 1 man become believers in the jail. I can speak 5 or 6 languages. It is also a gift from God, I think. In ethnic groups, very few material for them to read. I don't want to waste my ability like that. I want to help the people. So many people come to know Jesus. Now more than 1,000 in that area.
So do you see yourself like Judson?
I would like to be. I would like to be like him. So I try. The gospel is powerful. Nobody can stop the gospel.
So in answer to the question, who would follow Judson? We just met one.
So, along the lines of what we just watched there and what Pastor Brandon just talked about, I can tell y'all, I don't know, probably 8 or 10 years ago, went on mission trip with the church to Greece. It's probably 15 of us that went. And the church had been going on that same trip for about 6 years. And it wasn't one that was really successful. It was hard. People didn't want to hear. People would reject the gospel, all that kind of stuff. And the year we went, it was just like a flood. I mean, everybody was, tell me more. And, you walk down the street and hey, I want to talk to you about God. Let's hear it. And a crowd of people would get around you. And it was crazy. And it's just like what the quote that he was talking about said. And all that time, other people had made this sacrifice, right? And been going out there and planting the seeds, right? And then just happened to be, that last group that went through there that was able to kind of reap the harvest and do a bunch of baptizing and sharing the gospel and people coming and accepting Christ. And so, that's really encouraging to me, not just even with regard to the gospel, but with regard to anything. If you have success without sacrifice, it's because somebody else made the sacrifice before you. I really like that. Let's pray together. Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you so much for this time to be together. Thank you for this group of students and volunteers and church leaders and everything. Lord, so many are out and traveling and on their way back or still having a good time for Thanksgiving. Lord, I pray that you'll give them traveling mercies, watch over them, get them back here safely. Lord, I pray that you will let what we've learned about Adoniram Judson today sink in. Help us to be willing to make the sacrifices that you want us to make, to do the things that you want to do, to ultimately help others to come to know you and accept you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. I got one more. This is the one that Rusty was talking about, I think. All right, so I'll give the opportunity. Is there a couple of people in here that want to challenge each other by chance? All right, next round, it'll be you and him. Y'all two, come up. Okay. The way this game works, I don't think it's going to take a minute, so don't worry about timing it. The way this game works, you got a stack of cards here. On the bottom, the joker's face up, okay? You're going to have to take that mask off. And what you're going to do, however you need to do it, get down, but you're going to blow those cards off of that can, but you got to leave that last card still there face up, okay? Everybody understand? All right. On your marks, get set, go. Oh, take your time, take your time. Oh, both failed. Take your seats. Y'all too.
Is this the one that was his?
Yep, that's that. Ready? You ready? Go. Oh, nice. Gotta be gentle. There it is. All right. Good job. First winner. You got one? Stay up. Anybody want to dethrone the champ? Anyone? Come on. Yeah. Just hang on. Thank you. Yeah. Remind me y'all's names? Sean, Josiah. Who's got Sean to repeat? Who's got the newcomer, Josiah? All right. Y'all ready? Go. Oh, take your time. Take your time. There it is. Josiah sends his brother home. Anybody else? Yeah, if you're the only one. Nobody here that hadn't done it wants to try? All right, come on. So just put this one on top, and then put them all face down. Put them on top. Let's see, Joker in there somewhere. Set there. we go. Ready, set, go. There it is. Lex got him. Good job. What time we got? We got time for one more if he wants to try again? 10:06. All right, last round. You want to give it one more shot? Come on. Huh? Oh, is it not? You got the last one? Yeah, he's got it. All right, here we go. Ready, set, go. Oh, take your time. You can stack it back up if you want. You can stack it back up. That's it. Game time. Good job. All right. Guys, that's it for today. Y'all are dismissed. Thanks. All right. And thanks.